left Buffalo in 1969. And 50 years is a lot of time to think. When you think about your life and you begin to look at the different things that occurred. And in looking back over time, across many different lyrics and many rhymes, it has come to me quite often, and every day I understand that the things I do today are really the result of a guided hand. And the many ways I have been blessed all lead back to this place where so many of my loved ones rest. The Queen City of the Great Lakes, the place where I was born, the place where I first heard music, and the place where I learned to blow a horn. So it's my honor to be here to have the opportunity and the chance to say thank you, Buffalo, to the people who made my life a special dance. To my mother and father, I thank them for giving me light. For my grandmother, Lori Byrd, the woman who raised me, I owe so much to her insight. She gave me 2 tape recorders, a short wave radio, a slick portable typewriter, an 8-inch color TV, a stereo record player, and a Polaroid land camera. Now, I know y'all used to see these little digital things now, but some of y'all might remember that camera that you had to practically put on your shoulder to take a Polaroid picture. Imagine having that at 12 or 13. An 8-inch color TV. With a 3rd grade education, she knew what I could be. Then she moved us from the east side to the Fruit Belt to 70 Lemon Street, where I did not want to go. I even walked across town to School 87 back on the east side through the Buffalo winter snow. Now, y'all know that's some serious snow, you know that. But it was in the belt that I connected with the neighborhood house, a community center just right up the street, and with a jazz DJ from WUFO who gave my work life a rhythm and a beat. He was a music teacher, Henry Cameron, host of Cameron's Corner, who I forever have to thank. He's no longer here, but I say every day, I will never forget you, Hank. Hank was recording a play that we were doing called The In Crowd and asked me to stay to talk to him after it was done. Then he asked me if I had ever thought about being on the radio. And I knew that my career had just begun. Hank said he would train me to be a radio DJ. I said, like ADOJ? And he said, yes. And if I became really good, the station might even pay. Yeah, that's funnier than you know. He told me he would pick me up every day of the summer at 4 a.m. in the morning. And that he would honk the horn one time, which would be my only warning. I never missed a day. And that's how it all began. His son, Paul Cameron, is sitting here in this audience. And I'd like him to stand and take a hand. Paul? The crazy thing was that once I saw the studio and what a radio station looked like, the only thing my grandmother didn't give me was a transmitter for my mic. And I can't believe that it was coincidence that I was taught public speaking before ever going on radio in a special after-school class by a stern Buffalo educator by the name of General Bass. Or that unknown to me, because he never chose to say a word, that he actually knew my whole family and was a friend of my uncle, Teddy Byrd. Now, I mention these connections because they relate to a time and place where helping each other was a natural part of being a member of our race. And when my grandmother died, I'll never forget a voice I heard from deep inside my gloom. It was the principal of East High School, Robert J. Rentz, a white man who was sitting in my living room. He told my family how the student body of East High took up a special collection to send wreaths from my fellow classmates in a show of solidarity and affection. Now, all this was happening with Cassius Clay up in my flow while I was a rapping teen DJ on radio station WUFO. I was blessed to follow pioneers like Eddie O.J., Frankie Crocker, and the brother who put me on, our PD, Jerry B., who in looking back was another connection that revealed predestiny. Jerry's sister, Janice, and I were classmates in the East High School scene, and their brother Robert and I played together on the East High football team. Years later, I'm in Los Angeles at Stevie's studio Wonderland when somebody told me my flanker back wanted to see me, and I really didn't understand. So I roll up in the studio and I see Rick James in there cutting a vocal track. He raises and raises, said, "James Johnson, your street football flanker back." Let me also give thanks to radio station WYSL, where Jerry Bowling heard me, then brought me to New York City in WWRL. I followed the Buffalo Legends to the New York City broadcast scene as the youngest DJ in the city's history at the tender age of 19. And I came up with an idea to try and do radio that made a difference, and that was the beginning of the Gary Byrd and Global Black Experience. To the godfather of soul, Mr. James Brown, who first met me here, he encouraged my writing in the New York midnight hour, then dedicated a song to my GBE and called it My Power. It was there that I began to do my poetry, trying to put myself on the map, and in looking back became a pioneer in the early days of rap. When I saw some of us killing and hurting and taking advantage of one another, I challenged us to understand that every brother ain't a brother. I especially give thanks to God and for a fellow Great Lakes brother who I also met here at 17. His name was Stevie Wonder. He took my radio poetics to Motown and made me a part of his musical thunder. From the first man to die, for the flag we now hold high, from songs in the key of life, Black Man, to Would You Like to Come With Me, to Village Ghetto Land. Also sung by George Michael on TV to 600 million people all around the planet. While Stevie was singing our Dark and Lovely for Mandela, and the apartheid government couldn't stand it. We did Misrepresented People for the Spike Lee Bamboozle film soundtrack about a brother who sold out his blackness and somehow couldn't get it back. Stevie had me do the lyrics for the song, then Spike went and pulled a doozy when he asked me to play myself and put me in the movie. And today, the only record ever recorded on Stevie's label, One Direction, that was a global hit on Motown, is a Wonder Byrd composition for the people of the world, You Wear the Crown. If it sounds like a dream, it's a dream come true that leads me to here today, and I'm thankful and I'm humbled in a very special way. For 50 years, I've been blessed to occupy a part of broadcasting history, and I've also been blessed to have a musical legacy. As I look at it track by track, I know it's the great Creator who has my back. So I'm giving thanks to my family, my son, his partner, Donna, and to all the friends who came out today, including my grand for me, to my extended family and all my best friends who showed up that I can see. And thanks to the Bullion Foundation and the nominating committee of the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame, the inductions today lift us all and immortalize us all our names. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't give appreciation and special thanks to Dyke and the Blazers, Donnie Elbert, Lonnie Liston Smith, Grover Washington Jr., and Darrell Banks. To Brian McKnight, Take Six, and Rick James, the Punk Funk King, my Fruit Belt Boys, Bill and Bobby Nunn, Processing the Do-Rags, and a sister who sure could sing. Now, we know her mama Barbara was a teacher. Yes, Lake Erie was deep in the roots of the Queen of Soul, Aretha. There's something about this place where so many great ones come and go. There's something very unique about this city. It's the people of Buffalo. May I say that you are the wind beneath my wings. You are the foundation of everything. You are the melody and the rhythm of all the songs I sing. In the words of Dyke Arlister Kristen, I miss the B, I miss the U, I miss the FFA, I miss the L, I miss the O, I miss the Buffalo. This golden buffalo is a big piece of home. Wherever I may go, beyond the memories of all that snow, I'll remember the warmth and the support that makes me say, thank you, Buffalo.